Welcome to my pretend living room where we're going to play Sword Coast Legends, a joint venture between Digital Extremes and InSpace. We have on the stream with us, you can't see them because they're all joining us through Skype, Ash Sevilla, and over in the GameSpot office, Mary Kish and Eric Tay. And I'm Justin Haywald. Well, and let's just jump into the game. So, Ash, one of the unique things about Sword Coast Legends here is that there's a Dungeon Master mode, and we're actually playing a campaign that you yourself have created, right?
Yeah, this is a campaign I created called Burning Dawn Trials Part 1, and it's designed to be an introduction to the game, and it's a fun way to run around and learn some of the controls and what some of the systems are like.
Mm-hmm. And what's your role in the development of the game? You don't just sit around making modules all day, I assume.
That would be an amazing role if such a thing existed. I'm actually the community manager and the development coordinator, so I do a lot of everything, which is, I'm the everything guy.
And so the Dungeon Master mode lets anybody create a full Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So I think it's worth mentioning Sword Coast Legends has the full backing of Wizards of the Coast. This is a real Dungeons & Dragons game set in the Forgotten Realms setting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been working with Wizards of the Coast since day one, and obviously we're on the phone with them on a regular basis, and we have their full blessing with the product, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a great world to play in, and we can't wait to see what people are going to create.
So I look forward to seeing what you've set up for us. How do we go over into this book here to get started?
Yeah, so this is an NPC that'll start you out, and everyone will be able to read his text here. I'll let you guys read that. But as a dungeon master, you're able to create all your own NPCs. You design them from the ground up. You can dress them. You can give them personalities. You can give them exposition like Bomar here. And all Bomar here is really showing you guys where to go next. So he's basically telling you, hey, this is the beginning of your quest. I'm going to send you on the next leg of it. And he's just kind of showing you the early ropes of the game. Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of modeled after, it looks like, Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, the classic Dungeons & Dragons games that I know I played growing up. But it seems like the creation tool is a lot simpler than it was back then.
Yeah, we kind of set out from the very beginning to design it to be accessible, but at the same time, really deep if you want to get that deep with it. We've already had people that have made campaigns that are 10 plus hours long. The one you guys are going to be playing today is, it can be done in about 3 hours, but it's really up to the dungeon master how long he wants to actually make his or her module. So it can get pretty in depth.
All right, so we'll, I guess, go over to world travel to venture forth.
Yeah. And then you guys will get to choose. Probably there should only be one location open to you guys right now, but if I wanted to as a dungeon master, I could, put quests all over this little opening map and let you guys jump to wherever you'd like to go. But for now, I think you guys only have one spot.
I'm actually not seeing it. So I see the Adventurers Camp.
No, it's Burning Dawn Camp, right?
Yeah, Burning Dawn Camp is where you guys should go.
There we go. Just getting thrown into it.
That's all right. As a DM, you can actually write all these loading screens as well, so you can kind of give your players a little bit of a background about where they're headed, or write a riddle or do whatever you want there. So
you've written all this yourself. This is not something you've pulled from some other source.
Yeah, this is all stuff I wrote on one of my days off, just to kind of have fun with module making. And
hello again, looks like I beat you here. Curious about how this camp is set up and who really runs the show, someone was kind enough to etch some information in the stone behind me. We accept. So what was your inspiration for this particular creation?
Well, this is sort of, so in the primary campaign, you actually play as a member of the Burning Dawn, which is sort of a ragtag guild that's been around for about 100 years in the Forgotten Realms, and during the campaign they fall upon some hard times, and so I kind of wanted to show the Burning Dawn before everything started to go badly. So some of the NPCs you're talking to now actually do appear in the story. So this is sort of a headcanon, Ash's headcanon prequel to the actual campaign of the game. So I just wanted to do it for fun because I really fell in love with the characters, and I wanted to show what some of the tools are capable of.
And the setting in the back, all of the set dressing as well, that you got to place that, or is there kind of a preset map that you put this into?
Well, the maps are preset, and there's many different ones to choose from of different sizes. But everything that the audience is looking at right now, from the tables to the fire there to the the crates in the bushes and the way that those NPC looks, the tents, all of that is stuff that I placed. And when you guys are done like reading through the quests and such, if you hold down your Alt key, you can actually see some of the items that are highlightable, and you'll actually be able to read a little bit about what's on the dinner table or what's inside that crate over there. So all those things are things that the dungeon master can actually dress up and write. So.
Yeah, so if you click on the table, it says Gil has prepared a fine meal for order members. Perhaps one day you'll be invited to eat. How long did it take you to put all this together? This seems really in-depth.
This one took me, I want to say maybe about 3 or 4 hours to do, but I've been messing with the tools for a long time. I think if you're learning the tools, they'll take a little while to get the hang of. We've heard that some people during our Head Start programs have spent 20 plus hours on their campaigns, and they're all available for download, which is really cool. So once you jump in there, you can just check and see which modules are highly rated, and go ahead and download those and try them out yourself. So that it's pretty awesome. There's unlimited adventures if you're into this kind of thing.
All right, so where should we go first?
You're going to go for it? Okay, so the first place you guys should definitely go to, if you picked up all of those quests, you should probably go to Lair of the Rat Queen first, which is, you guys will be researching why this rodent population in a nearby town has gone amok, and they're basically going absolutely crazy, eating all sorts of livestock and all sorts of people as well. And so you go into this underground lair to discover what's going on with these rodents.
Mm-hmm. So we didn't show the character creation before we all got into this. We created our own characters, and there's a lot of customization both in terms of how your character looks and their abilities.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of different, you can choose from a lot of the classic Forgotten Realms races and classes. One of the cool things I'm doing now is I'm actually controlling this group of rodents right here. So I can take, one of these rats, and I can go after Mary back there if I want these rats to go after her. So I can do all sorts of really fun stuff as a dungeon master. I can directly control them. I can lay down traps. I can do all sorts of things. And there's also, if you do a search, or if you hold down the Alt key, you can see that there's a little bit of information and exposition on these skeletons here. You can say, oh, these bones have been picked clean, or you can write really whatever you want for your players. So.
We're not getting paid by the hour.
I'm dying!
One, yes? At your service.
So are the rules for this based on the most recent Dungeons & Dragons game?
Yeah, so the rules are based on 5th edition D&D, and obviously, there has to be a bit of modification for a real-time experience, especially a 4-with-1 real-time experience. So it is a modified version of 5th edition, but that was very much the basis of where we came up with our rule set. Now, if you want to help Justina up, you just go up and left-click, and you'll stabilize,
No, I wasn't
and
dead,
that'll
was I?
actually get him up.
I'm a glass cannon wizard.
As you wish.
Indeed. So there's lots of different stuff I can do here as a DM, so I'm going to give you a bit of a warning. I'm actually going to add an explosive trap to this door in real time, and I'm going to make it a little bit challenging to find. So you might see it, you might not see it. You might be able to disarm it. We'll see. If you disarm it, you get a little bit of experience. You get to move on. And again, this is just an introductory module, so that's why you guys are fighting the staple rats in the beginning. Now, if I wanted to kind of do a challenge, I could add some extra creatures here. I can make them attack from a different angle. I can do all sorts of different stuff.
And you're doing that all on the fly. Like, as you're watching us play, you have complete control.
Victory.
Right. So, for instance, I have some zombies here at my disposal, so even though it's not actually part of the story, I'm just going to make some zombies appear just to fight you guys. Because who doesn't love zombies, right?
Take them down!
And then if you don't want to do anything, like if you're just the DM who wanted to set up this dungeon but not be micromanaging every little thing, they're still going to, attack on their own and act of their own accord, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can set up your module to have, real-time interaction or to just run on its own. Actually, all modules will run on their own without a live DM. But live DMing is kind of fun. We can do all sorts of, fun role-playing activities like, I can make you guys do a roll check or a perception check. I can do all sorts of different things in real time that would be challenging to do without a live DM.
Oh no. Go away, go away.
So one of the cool things you can do, I'm going to pause and tell you guys how to do this. You guys should see an empty player portrait because we don't have a fourth player. Now, if you want to bring in a fourth player as an NPC, you can actually do that. So if you click that blank player portrait once I unpause, you can actually bring in one of the NPCs from the story. I suggest you bring in a cleric.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Does adding a fourth player increase the difficulty of the things you fight?
So what it actually does is our system takes the average player level and then creates creatures based on that player level. So it'll actually average all your levels, and that's what level the monsters will be. So it's not going to really increase the overall difficulty. It should just still average everything.
As you wish.
And so when you're playing the game normally, you're actually also able to pause the action and kind of do a turn-based deciding what actions you want to take. Are the players able to do that when you're in this mode, or is that just the DM?
Actually, you can set it up either way. So you, when you actually set up the particular dungeon, you can have it so players are able to pause. It's really up to the group playing. Like if you're playing with a bunch of your close friends and you trust them to have, that power to just pause all the time, then we let you do that. So it's totally an option for players and dungeon masters.
Mm-hmm. And so we know where you're at because you're this floating purple.
You see my purple wispy, huh?
Yeah.
Of course.
So I guess it'll be a little bit scary when you leave where we're at, because that means that you're in some other part of the dungeon, possibly setting up something horrible that will happen to us.
That is absolutely correct.
Right away.
And so
Goddess's name.
coming into this, we had those story elements that were set up. Are you able to add any of that or change the story on the fly as well?
Yeah, actually, there's all sorts of things we can do. Here, I'll do something here to give you a little bit of a D&D flavor.
That hurt.
So these guys are a little bit more challenging. Looks like Lydia's helping you out there.
Ready to surrender.
All right, so I'll do a little DM action for you guys here. So as you guys actually approach this entryway, you notice that a bunch of large rocks have slid down and are actually blocking the entrance. They're a little too tall to climb over, but it seems as though maybe one of you might be strong enough to move the rocks out of the way. So if you want to walk up to the doorway and do a strength check, I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
I'd expected better.
All right, so if you look in the bottom left, there's a little toggle right there that you can click on that opens up like a chat window. Mm-hmm. And if you type in /roll 1d20, you'll actually be able to do a roll check there. And so we're going to do a little strength check to see if you guys can move these rocks. I won't tell you the difficulty of moving the rocks, but so everyone should give it a shot. /roll 1d20 and see if you can actually move those rocks out of the way. If not, I'll make something terrible happen to you.
So I got a strength check of 14. So that, that's very much like sitting around with your friends, play like an experience that you typically only get around the table. And I don't think was a part of the other Baldur's game, the games that we had growing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We're finding new ways to implement skill checks and things like that players are really clamoring for. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you rolled pretty high on your strength check means I can remove this and say, I'll just pause it and say, okay, you're able to actually move the rocks out of the way and continue on your adventure. Nothing bad happens. So you can do all sorts of, fun things like that as a dungeon master live in real time. You can have, dexterity checks. You can do all sorts of really, really fun stuff that they do in the tabletop.
I want to point out that maybe you can't read that if you're watching this on the stream, but Tay put the / backwards because he does not understand how keyboards work. Wait, who does / what?
I did the other way too. It didn't work, so I tried both ways, bro.
Uh-oh. We don't have PvP yet, guys.
Was that all?
And so this is I don't think you're not calling it early access, but people are able to get into the game right now and create these dungeons, play some of the single player campaign.
Yeah, so we're doing these Head Start weekends for people that pre-order, and we're looking at a lot of feedback from these Head Start weekends and really kind of enjoying working with the community to come up with some neat and interesting things. And people are playing the game in different ways than we were really expecting. So it's been a big learning experience, and it's been a lot of fun too, because people are already generating really incredible content just a few weeks in. So.
What in particular has really stood out as surprising or that you didn't expect for people to do?
Well, people have been finding ways players have really found ways to min-max their characters and to really level up very, very quickly. And, I'm really old-fashioned, so I play very naturally, and I take my time, and players are finding ways to just blow through things and find, the modules that will yield the most experience and how to, get the best weapons as quickly as they can. So part of it was mainly, us, I don't want to say being naive, but us being like, thinking people were going to play like we play. But obviously when you get thousands and thousands of people playing, they're going to have all sorts of different play styles. So that was kind of a learning experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Breathe. I can do that. We survive once
And so
again.
we've touched on this a little bit, but you've mentioned it, that there's also a complete single player campaign. It's not like this is just a create your own dungeon multiplayer kind of experience.
Right. Some poison there. I know, that's bad. So there is a whole full campaign that's 40 plus hours. I absolutely love it. It has some really great companions, some really, it's a really memorable adventure. And I know that's kind of hard. There's so many RPGs with great stories these days. I think the thing that really makes SCL stand out is the fact that you can actually play through the whole campaign, experience the whole story, but you can actually do it with up to 3 other players. So you can do the whole campaign with your buddies, which is great.
Be strong.
And for those creation tools for making your own dungeons, it sounded like the characters that you meet, the characters they're able to add to your party is something that's unlocked as you play along. But for the rest of the creation tools, do you have just full access to the entire suite, to everything from the start?
So there's actually, at this point, the way that it's set up is nothing's really locked out. So once you get control of the DM tools, you'll have access to everything. The things that we are, like you said, you can only bring in companions that you meet in the campaign. So if you want to actually bring in additional companions, you'll have to experience the campaign to actually add them to your roster. And there's I think we've revealed 8 so far. So we have 8 different companions in the main story, all very different, all, with great personalities and really fun to play as.
What's your favorite companion so far?
I'm actually a big fan of the one you brought in, Lydia. She's a moon elf, but you guys are just blowing everything up. She's a moon elf, but she's a cleric, but she uses a bow because that's one of the racial abilities in 5th edition that moon elves can actually use bows. So she attacks from range, but at the same time, she's just great versatility, great character. She has a really cool backstory, which you'll learn about as you play. Man, you guys are just...
We're doing really well with these traps.
You went through the toxic explosion traps here.
So as the DM, are you able to... So, we've been able to bring our characters back to life multiple times. Are you able to set that as a rule as well, or...?
No, right now, the only penalty, if the whole party wipes, you'll actually start back at the beginning of the dungeon. There is no big death penalty other than that. So, in 5th edition D&D, they use Stabilize to bring characters back from the brink of death, and that's kind of the system we went with. So you're not going to see wounds, you're not going to see, characters limping or anything like that. So right now, Stabilize is what we're going with, and it works pretty well. I mean, you'll get pretty good at bringing characters back in the thick of battle, and it gets pretty challenging at harder levels. So.
And that's the way it works in the single-player campaign as well.
Yeah, that's the way it works there as well. So you guys are using your search ability.
And so using search will ostensibly help us find a trap before it comes out, right?
Yeah, so players have like an active perception, which is based on their wisdom score. So it just determines how well they see, the environment around them. But if you turn your search on, you guys will notice that you'll slow down a bit, but at the same time, it actually raises your active perception. So it's a great way to find traps. It's a great way to, make sure that you don't step on a bunch of giant poison bombs like you guys did.
Yeah, I don't have that ability, so you two need to step it up.
Paid by the hour.
Sorry, Tay. You're the tank. You're there to take the damage for us.
Bring them down.
It'll prompt you when you can disarm them, or do you just avoid them?
You can do either or. So if you really want to, I'm going to pause it because I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story as you go over the bridge. But yeah, you can choose to disarm the traps. You'll get an experience bonus, or you can just walk around them and try not to step on them. So. All right, so as you guys enter this room, across the bridge, you see a horde of the undead that are slowly making their way toward you.
Take them down.
Oh, that's a lot.
Destroy the bridge.
Take them down.
Yeah, are you able to add in elements like that let you kind of maybe play around with the expectations of the DM, maybe doing things the DM wouldn't expect, like jump up on a table or destroy a bridge instead of just fighting?
We don't have destructible environments right now, but there's a lot of stuff you can cheat. Like, for instance, I was just going to say that as they're walking across the bridge, the rumble from their footsteps makes the rocks behind you slide, and the entryway that you came through is now blocked. So you can do stuff like that. You can't blow up the bridge and block progress, but there are barriers and things like that you can place, and all sorts of, there's hundreds of different placeable objects, so you can do all sorts of things to dress up an area to tell a story.
So you would have the ability to maybe just like throw down rocks on the middle of the bridge and say like there was a landslide here, and now to get over it you have to roll a dexterity check to climb over them or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I did one behind you guys, but if I wanted to, I could just throw one down, in front of this doorway. Heck, let's do it.
Do it.
Don't crush me.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and put some barriers in front of you, and we're gonna make you jump over them. See what you did to yourselves? Okay, so
Is that a
Right,
D20?
so I want you guys to do a quick dex check. Do /roll 1d20, and we'll see which one of you guys can actually get over this. Oh boy. Got a 12.
Take out a 12. I got a 9. So when you have a non-playable character, when you have a guy that's just joined, like our cleric, how does that work? Or do you just
The
kind
other
of...
way?
You would have to at that point you'd have to kind of cheat the system, or you can roll for that character. So and also if you're playing by real 5th edition rules, you would have oh, look at that, 14. All right, so Mary actually does make it over, and she's able to assist you guys from the other side.
Thanks,
And you
Mary.
guys are actually able to get past the wall, but you hear something terrible, like a screeching, coming from the distance. You don't know what it is, but it sounds like something hideous and other earthly.
You're gonna do something
Right
evil.
away.
Probably.
Bring them down.
And so I feel like this would let you do things like you would in a D&D campaign, where it's like instead of maybe rushing into battle, you could say like, oh, I want to do a check to see what kind of danger is ahead of me, and then that would allow you to change the difficulty on the fly or change what kind of things you're going to experience.
Back to work.
Right. That's what we're really hoping people do. I mean, it's very easy to just get in here and click things and not really pay attention to what you're doing. But if you really want to role play and you really want to have a good time, the players can say like, I want to check my surroundings, and the DM can react accordingly. I can make an encounter more difficult or easier based on what you guys are saying to me. So.
And so does the progress that you make when you're in these modules, can that carry over to the single player as well?
Yes, so your character is your character. Oh, you killed the Rat Queen very quickly.
Lady of Dreams.
Your progress actually carries over, so you can You can jump from the player campaign to different modules and then jump back to the player campaign or whatever DLC is coming out and still use the same character the whole time. So.
And so, of course, we got some experience from that. Do we get loot? Do you decide what the loot is, what the rewards are for that?
Actually, right now, what's happening with loot is it's a random system. So you guys should receive rewards, like quest rewards inside your bags individually. But then these chests will actually have random items inside them as well. So it'll be up to you to kind of distribute the things that you find. And we did that because some players love it, some players don't love it. But we did that so that people will be encouraged to kind of keep adventuring, keep going on different quests to find those items that they really want. We were kind of afraid that if we just gave DMs the power to place whatever object they would want to place in terms of loot, that they would just build entire levels filled with epic swords, and that would kind of deter people from going on those adventures. So right now it's a random system, but we'll see how people like it.
Yeah, that would definitely change the balance of the game.
Right, it's tricky because we want people to have all that power as a DM, but at the same time, you want people to go on adventures with their friends and get really excited when they find something that they haven't seen before. So
I would abuse it right away.
yeah, right. It's challenging because we have dev tools and we can just summon whatever weapons we want, and it's really hard not to do it.
Well, thanks so much for taking us through this early part of the campaign. I don't want to spoil too much. The game is coming out really soon, actually, the October 20th, I think, on PC and Mac, right?
Yeah, absolutely. October 20th, PC Mac. In 2016 for PS4 and Xbox One. And head starts are actually starting this Friday, and they'll continue right up until launch, on and off. So definitely check our social sites to see when the head starts are happening. But
and it feels really natural to play on keyboard and mouse. Does the PC version also support controller?
Yeah, so it does, and we're working on refining controller support later on for consoles and buffing it up on the PC side as well.
Cool, really exciting stuff. And again, Ash, thanks so much for walking us through. Tay, I'm sorry that I'm a bad wizard, and Mary, good job.
You love running in the front lines as the wizard. Let's think about that.
I know, why did I was just pushing forward the entire time. That is not the role of the wizard.
You're a different
Thank
wizard.
you guys. That was fun. Let me know if you guys ever want to play. We'll play.